your Black power should be something that you live in, you swim in every day. I think it's something that we should just carry with us all the time, everywhere. And I want to mention also that later on this afternoon, I am going to be doing our Stock Market Tuesdays, where you can come in and ask me questions about the stock market. And oops, sorry, let me turn this thing off. And opportunities involving investing in the market. As you know, the market's been kind of volatile. Last week was a bad week, and I mentioned to you all that I think this week would be a good week. And so far, or I predicted that it could be a good week. There's nothing for certain. You cannot predict these kinds of things with certainty. But I was like, yeah, based on the stuff I wrote about in my dissertation, it looks like the stock market is probably, there's a good chance it's going to have a strong week because it tends to overreact. Well, that's what happened. A lot of you made a lot of money yesterday. So congratulations if you did. And I just want to remind you, if you're an investor, which everybody should be, I think everybody should be in the stock market. If you're not in the stock market, please, please, please do that, because the stock market's where the money is. I want you to be a part of that. And also just be smart, careful, and consistent. If you do that, you're going to be fine. Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. So anyway, that crash was temporary. Crashes are an opportunity to make money, and a lot of you made money after the dip. If you bought into the dip, then a lot of money popped out. So that's the market. Anyway, we're going to do Stock Market Tuesdays later on today at noon Eastern. And for those of you that want to come, you can do that with a membership in the Black Stock Market Program. The fee is $89 a month, but for those of you that are in Money in the Morning, I dropped the fee to $21 a month, or $22, 21.50 or something like that. So, and that's your price now and forever. So I'll share this link. And so that discount will be available for 24 hours if you want to take advantage of it. I'm also going to text it to you later on today if you want to become a member. And if you join, then you will get another email from me inviting you to the private Zoom where we're going to do stock market stuff. You can ask me stock market questions. I meet with the students every single week and talk about the market, and you can ask me about the stocks that you like, stuff like that. So here is the link if you guys would like to take a look at it. And so feel free to share it with your family. Also, is buy one, get one free, get 10 free, whatever it is. So you can bring anybody that you want, because I believe everybody should start investing. Another little financial note is every Black child should own stock from the time they're born, really. If you really want to do it right and you have new kids in the family, buy stock for them when they're born. Also, even at Christmas time, we buy all these gifts and everything that are going to be worthless in about 3 months. Instead of buying a bunch of toys, buy them some stock. That stock is going to be valuable for the rest of their life. Why would you pass up the chance to protect them financially so you can give them a couple of months of joy from playing a video game or something? I personally think you can do both, but I think it's about priorities. So it's not that toys are bad. It's not that, that fun gifts are not cool. You can get those. Just handle your business first. Get your kids some stock first, and do it aggressively. I'm talking about aggressively, like I believe that if you want your kids to be protected, because remember, if you don't have any wealth in this society, you get financially abused. You get driven into slavery. And what do I mean by that? Well, it means you get in a situation where you can't live your best life anymore. You can't do what you want to do. You have to go to work every day, and you got to be in this toxic, unhealthy environment. Think about this. Your relationship, for some of us, that relationship with our boss, even on our dream job, is very toxic. It's like you're in this toxic relationship where you got to spend 8 hours with your partner every day, and they hate you, and it's stressful, and that's good. That kills you. That really kills you. And so I would say if we prepare our kids financially, then we're saving them from that. We're protecting them from that abuse, and that allows them to be healthier. That really is a sign of love, in my opinion. So it's easy to prevent. It's easy to fix that. All you got to do is buy as much stock for them as you might spend on toys, or spend as much on giving them sort of financial gifts, assets, as you might spend on your car note. So if your car note's $500 and you love your child as much as you love your car, then I think that it would make sense to try your best to buy as much stock as you spend on your car note. Your car note's 500, you buy $500 worth of stock, not $50, not one stock. That's the thing I notice, is that there's a lot of times there's an imbalance. People will spend big on the things that we want, but will spend tiny on the things that we need. And I personally think that's really, it's not just a solution to the problem, but it's also helps us to diagnose the problem. You guys know that our goal was to become like these Black wealth surgeons, where we would sort of specifically look into, okay, why don't Black people have money? Why is our wealth not growing? What's really happening here? And that's what I noticed is that a lot of us spend lots of money. We are big consumers, but we also need to be big investors. Because if you're a big investor, you can be a big consumer. You can. I invest a lot. I've been investing my whole life, and when I want to buy myself something nice, I don't hold back. If I want to take an international trip and fly first class, I just do it. I don't think anything about it. When my wife went to go buy a car, she did not go looking for a hoopty. She got her a Benz. So don't think that investing means you are sacrificing forever and that you are missing out on the joys of life. I'm giving you triple joy. There's triple joy for you if you can engage in one simple idea. The simple idea is this: delay gratification. That's it. Delay gratification. If you can invest and sacrifice and pour into something, then not only will you benefit, but all the people behind you are going to benefit. And before I actually talk about the topic I wanted to discuss today, I actually want to go back to, remember I told you all yesterday that my wife was tripping because I wanted to get this big statue of Anubis in my office that I got in Egypt. And she said, Boyce, Anubis is the god of death. He's the god of the afterlife. And I was like, that's okay. Death does not scare me. And the afterlife to me is going to be the biggest part of my life. And because my thought is, I like the ancient Egyptians, I said, okay, I get it. King Tut was only a ruler for 11 years, but his legacy lasted 5,000 years because he spent a lot of his life preparing for the afterlife. And so I want to encourage you to consider that basic idea that the afterlife isn't necessarily just like heaven and all this other stuff. The afterlife is what happens to the people you love after your life is over. The afterlife is what are we going to do with this limited time that we have on this earth? So to me, investing for yourself, it's the same as investing for your kids. When you build that wealth, then what happens is that you get to enjoy life even more later on down the line. But the best part is that you really get to create an infinite amount of joy in the afterlife, right? The afterlife, like maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now. My wife bought her first house with money that her grandfather invested in 1945. He literally bought some World War II savings bonds in 1945. That's what she used to buy her house. All right. So anyway, let me pop in and jump into the topic that was on my mind today. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Somebody said they can't hear me. I want to make sure the audio is good. Give me a quick yes if you can hear me. All right. All right. And also, okay, I see yeses. Thank you, Patricia and Veronica and Tara Redmond and Stephen Gordon. Good to see you, Kendrick. All right, Kendrick. I thought it was Kendrick. Why is that interesting? Well, because I was thinking about Kendrick Lamar. How many of you saw that there was like a little bit of a controversy that Kendrick Lamar about him performing at the Super Bowl? Did anybody see that? He's been selected to perform at the Super Bowl. I guess I don't know all the songs. He's got some great songs. He's got a great catalog. But somebody made a joke and said, "Well, are they just gonna play They Not Like Us like 10 times over?" And just as a side note for the hip hop heads, and a lot of you saw, if you didn't, let me just describe it just to let you know what kind of blew Kendrick up this year. He had I guess, an issue with the rapper Drake, and he made that song "They Not Like Us." They not like us. I assume everybody's heard it at some point. If you haven't, listen to it. It's a good song. And it was big. It was pretty bad. It was really interesting. And also what was interesting though about it was I didn't know how I felt about it because I talked to a rapper friend of mine and I said, I don't know if I don't know how comfortable I am with the idea of everybody sort of dancing on the grave of another person, just kind of like celebrating um the accusations. Like I think he called him a certified pedophile and just really nasty stuff. And I was like, it was a great song and it was cool and everything, but I don't know how much I enjoyed the idea of all of us just being like celebrating this idea that somebody got destroyed. But whatever, it's life. That's hip hop, I guess. And so anyway, so Kendrick's going to perform at the Super Bowl, which I have no problem with that. He performed before, he did great. But I guess he's the keynote now, or the not the keynote, the headliner. I guess I not keynote is like keynote speaker. All right, so the controversy came in where Lil Wayne, who is out of New Orleans, he represents New Orleans pretty heavily, and Cash Money Records and all those guys kind of felt like, you're coming to our city, we should be performing too, we should be out there, and I think they're going to probably resolve it by letting them do a cameo or something. I can't imagine them just ignoring them completely because they have a valid point. A lot of people in New Orleans love Lil Wayne and Cash Money Records, and I can't say that I love them completely. I don't hate them, but I did have an issue. I had a Little Wayne issue about what was it, about 11 years ago now, where he made a nasty remark about Emmett Till. He said something that was completely disrespectful, completely inappropriate. I think in a verse he said, like when I don't even want to say it this morning. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it because it's so just it's gonna gross you out. But he made a joke about Emmett Till's face after he got beaten up, after he got, lynched. And I got a call from Reverend Jesse Jackson's people, and we talked about it. And then Emmett Till's family, their representative, reached out for my help to basically get them to address this issue. They ignored it for a very long time. Like didn't just because the thing is that when white folks are putting money in the pockets of rappers, they think that they can ignore black people. They think black people don't matter. And if you listen to some of Lil Wayne's comments over the years, he's really made some comments that are just dysfunctional in terms of his complete disconnect and disregard for what the black community is experiencing. So and I just it just makes me kind of sad that a person of that level of influence would be so pulled into outer space that he would say these things. But that's kind of the nature of the beast, right? The more connected you are to the minstrel show that hip hop has become, the minstrel show of self destruction, the minstrel show of drug addiction, the minstrel show of unneeded violence, the minstrel show of wasting money, the minstrel show of literally being ignorant and proud. The more connected you are to that, the more money they pay you. This is why I always remind you guys as we learn about money, I want you to make money, but I need you to make healthy money. It's just like if I show you how to grow food, I don't want to teach you how to grow poisonous food. I'm not going to teach you how to go get a bunch of candy bars so you can, die from diabetes or something. I want you to grow natural food, something that's going to be healthy where you can still feel full and fed, but you're not killing yourself. So a lot of this music, in terms of the ways that our people are making money, is very unhealthy. It's like you're making money by destroying your community. You're making money by sharing a message that is going to harm your people. And again, I'm not picking on Lil Wayne with this. But I will say, I remember hearing a song where he said something in the song where he literally said, and I asked a woman like about this. She was a fan of his, and I said, did you listen to the lyrics? Did you listen and hear that he just said that he would steal your girlfriend and make her into a prostitute? And then make her go like rob people on his behalf. And then after he's done with her, using her up, he would murder her and send her dead body back to her boyfriend. You do know that in that song that's what he just said. That does not bother you. That does not bother you that a black man would say that about a woman. Like that does not. You're not concerned at all. You don't understand. And she was like, no, it's just music and it's a great song. It's got a great beat. And it really opened my eyes to the subconscious mind and how hip hop music penetrates the subconscious mind of black people, and you cannot disconnect the dysfunction in our communities from the dysfunction in the music. Dr. George C. Frazier, he's OG status. He's about 80 years old now, I think. And he said black people change when the music changed. Literally, he said black people change when the music changed. He said before the music changed, we were a different kind of people. We loved each other. We were trying to be better. We wanted to be educated. We wanted to be successful. We wanted to do good things for our families. We wanted to love each other. And then the music got messy. Everybody became a Igga or a Itch. You know what I'm talking about? And all this other stuff. And next thing you know, things kind of went downhill. So this is all by design. I agree. It's by design. There's a puppet master behind this, and the puppet master's number one tool, his number one tool is money. His number one tool is money, because the things that he'll let you rap about for your community, he'll never let you say about his. They won't. They won't. These individuals from, you know what community they come from. I don't even have to say it. They will never. They would never. Michael Jackson made one remark. Anybody remember that? How many of y'all remember that when Michael Jackson said something that wasn't even that bad? He didn't say anything really insulting, and they literally forced him to take that verse out. They were like, "No, you ain't gonna do that on our watch, boy." So this is what we're dealing with. So let me so before I finish, so giving you the big picture on the whole on what I think about the Kendrick Lamar thing, because there's an economic angle I don't think anybody's discussing. I'll finish with the Lil Wayne story. So basically, the lady from Emmett Till's family called me. I remember because I was moving to Chicago at the time, and she said, yeah, we need your help to go and deal with this Lil Wayne thing. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I mean, these Negroes, they don't listen to black people because they got too many white people putting money in their pocket. And she said, well, Mountain Dew's about to sponsor his tour, his world tour, with Ti, which I had no issue with Ti, but I was like, really? And she said, yeah. And so she sent me this commercial that Mountain Dew did that was like this really jacked up racist commercial. It was like terrible. It was like, like literally this goat that was supposed to be like basically it was a black goat, but he was like a talking goat, which made it funny. And they did a police lineup where they were trying to figure out who the goat had assaulted, had sexually assaulted. And so there's a scared white woman talking to a white police officer. And she's like, I don't know which one. And all the people lined up were black. Every single one of them was black. And I was like, damn, wow, they got this scared white woman sitting there looking at this police lineup full of black men in the middle. And the part that was supposed to be funny was the goat in the middle. The goat in the middle, he was clearly a black goat. Y'all know what a black goat would sound like, He's like, I'm nasty. Yeah, yeah, should have gave me some more. Like he was, and so I was like, wait a minute, like this is crazy. This is so racist. Like, what the hell is this crap? So I just wrote this little article, in the middle of the night, 10 o'clock at night. I wrote this article, and I think I labeled it the most racist commercial ever, right? And for whatever reason, I guess that title got people's attention. A Syracuse professor says this is the most racist commercial ever. So people are like, let me see this commercial. And everybody agreed. People watching, they were like, what the hell is this? And by the next morning, that article had been read like 100,000 times. I kid you not. Then it got covered by every major media outlet in the country. And so the Mountain Dew executives were like, okay, what is this commercial and who did this and what's going on? It became a PR disaster for them. And I didn't know it was going to happen. I just wrote my article on my little blog and put it out there. Well, long story short, what happened then was I remember that it got to the point where I did also shift the conversation. I wasn't really talking about so much just the commercial. I was talking about Lil Wayne. And I said, this man, I said, look, it's one thing if you go off and you start making your money and you forget about the black community. I can almost forgive you for that. I don't think that's acceptable, but I can almost forgive you for that because that's your right. It's another thing when the only time you bring up black people is to insult us. That's unacceptable. That's just not appropriate. And to think that because white folks gave you all this money, you can just gallivant and do whatever you want, that ain't cool. That is not cool. Our community is we're coming back. We're speaking up for ourselves. We got power and strength that we never had. And remember, this was the infancy of this. This was 2013. So this was before what we have now. Back then, a lot of people thought, we can't do anything about these rappers or whatever. I was like, oh hell no, I'm gonna say something because this is some bullshit. Excuse my French. I don't want to cuss anymore. I apologize. So anyway, so next thing I know was that so what I did was instead of trying to explain to them why what some of these rappers are saying is inappropriate, I just put his lyric in there. I put the lyric in there about where he said, "I'll take your girlfriend and make her a prostitute, and then I'm gonna murder her and send her dead body back to her boyfriend." And I said, "Is this what Mountain Dew wants associated with their brand?" Is this what, because I know how corporations think. I know about brand association. Remember, I'm a professor with this, right? So I was like, yeah, do you is this the brand you want? Is this what Mountain Dew represents? And that's when, because that's me, that's why people get mad, because I know how to get up inside your head. I can live rent free up inside your brain. And it, I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I was trying to be honest and also just speak on something that I know was frustrating millions of people. So long story short, first thing I noticed, I knew we had some penetration when I heard Lil Wayne issued an apology. But it was like one of those formal statements, like, to all of whom I've offended, I just want you to know that as an artist, we express our creativity in a multitude of ways, and sometimes that creativity can cross the line, right? It's like, and I was like, oh, okay, well, they apologized. I guess that's a start. And they took that verse out of the song. I think one of the executives, Stevie Wonder, bless him, had reached out to Epic Records and said, you got to take this verse out. You can't have your artist talk about Emmett Till that way. So Stevie was responsible for that. So we got the verse removed, and then also we got this apology. And I was like, okay, well, that's it. That's what it's the most we can do. Well, the person who represented the family of Emmett Till, I don't remember her name, but she called me and she's like, that's not enough. She's like, no, that's not enough. This is not cool. Don't know, that's not enough. And I was like, oh, it's not? Okay. Well, what do we do? What we do now? And so like, 'cause I thought that was the most he was gonna get. But to her credit, she was like, no, no, this is not, we gonna keep pushing on this. So she kept on pushing, and as she kept pushing, and we were pushing kind of on the issue, then next thing I know was another apology got issued. And this was one that looked more like it was written by Lil Wayne, because I think her issue was this was not written by him. This was written by a publicist. He ain't even paying attention. He probably off getting high somewhere. And so the second one, though, was like written in kind of broken English. Sometimes I do be tripping, and just right. It's like, oh, okay, that sounds like him. That sounds more, that's got enough ebonics in it. And but that still wasn't enough. And then what happened? But here's the thing: when I saw that second apology, and then the third thing that really let me know that somebody was in their ear. And remember, I was following the money. In case you want to know what the lesson is here, it's like when you want to understand why some BS is happening in America, you gotta just follow the money. The money will distort reality. The money, it has a power of its own. It has a personality of its own. The money can become the devil, where the devil will have you thinking up is down and down is up. The devil will have you thinking good is bad and bad is good. The devil will have you eating toilet paper thinking that it's chicken soup. Like, right? So whenever you see something weird happen in politics or business or hip hop or anywhere or even human beings, if you follow the money, usually you can figure out what's going on. Like, why is she dating that fat, ugly man who punches her in the face? Oh, he's got money. Oh, that now it all makes sense, right? Right. So anyway, so here's the thing. I remember, and I kept poking. I wasn't poking at Wayne. I didn't want to talk to Wayne or Cash Money. I didn't care about that. It was more so Mountain Dew. It's like I don't want. This is another thing about following the money. I said I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to the puppet. I need to talk to the puppet master. Like if Pinocchio is cussing you out, and but Geppetto or the puppet master has a hand up his ass, and he's controlling his mouth, and the puppet's like, "You ain't nothing, you dirty bastard, you ain't." You don't argue with the puppet. Like, why would I argue with the puppet? I'm not talking to the puppet. I need to talk to the man who has his hand up your ass. That's the guy I got an issue with. Like, because I understand what the difference between real power and the proximity of power. Like that's the issue. We think sometimes because we manage something or because we're the economic babysitter of an entity that's controlled by a white man that somehow we have real power. No, you got power until they knock your black ass off the perch. Until they decide, as E40 to quote E40, he said they'll find a new Igga next year. He's got a whole song. It's called "To Whom It May Concern." Go listen to that song. He wrote this song in the '90s, and he's right. He said they'll find a new Igga next year. Right? I didn't say the end part, so I'm trying to keep it clean, right? But seriously, go listen to that song, and it's true. It's like so. I wasn't. This was not a beef with me and Lil Wayne. It's like no, I'm not. I'm a professor. I'm not trying to argue with you, man. You're a brilliant artist. You're good at what you do, but these people that are paying money or financing our destruction. That's not appropriate. I'm not a fan of any of that. We can't live like that. We will die. Our people will be gone. And so here's what happened. Here's where I knew something was going on behind the scenes was when he apologized on stage. He went on stage in Florida and he was like, I just want to apologize. I was like, wow, he apologized on stage. Okay, that means somebody is threatening the money. And then about 2 or 3 days later, they canceled the tour. It was a tour. I guess he and Ti were gonna go on this world tour with Mountain Dew. If y'all remember, he was wearing a lot of Mountain Dew gear at that time. He had the whole skater thing going. Anybody remember that? Like it was weird. It's like he's doing a whole skater Mountain Dew thing, and then all of a sudden that stopped. And here's the thing: I don't want to disrupt anybody's money. I got criticism. People were like, "Oh, you messing up a black man money," and da da da. I was like, "No, I'm not trying to mess up a black man's money. I'm trying to save my black community. A black man's money is not worth the destruction of the entire black community. One black man getting money is not a good trade-off for the whole community suffering from the pollutants and the destruction created by sending a message that wants our children to die. Who the hell told you that one guy getting money that he's going to spend on some dope is better than having a healthy community? What led you to this dysfunctional, mentally ill conclusion? That makes no damn sense. You're talking crazy right now. What's wrong with you? But again, remember, money is the devil. The devil will get into it's a poison. It's a drug. It'll get into your soul, get into your system, and just like a drug addict, have you out here doing crazy stuff, thinking that it's normal. That's what money does. If you take the money away, if you take the money out of hip hop, half of these damn songs wouldn't even exist. A lot of these songs wouldn't even be out there. They're out there because some guy, some melanin deficient asshole, decided to pay some financially struggling black man who was never trained to make money any other way. They paid him money and they said, "Here, put this poison in your community. Yeah, tell the little girls they want to be hoes. Tell the little boys to go pick up a gun and shoot somebody in the third grade." This is a problem, and this is why financial literacy is so important for the black community because there's a billion ways to make money. There's a billion ways to make money. And who the hell told your black son that the only ways to make money is to dribble a basketball, throw a football, sling crack rocks, or something stupid like that? Who told him that? There's a billion ways to make money outside of slinging rocks and playing basketball. My God, we got like an oversupply of 40-year-old rappers. We have an oversupply of 5'8" basketball players who think they're going to be LeBron James. We have an oversupply of guys who think they're going to get to the NFL, which ain't nothing but a big damn plantation anyway. Uh, how about we expand our horizons a little bit and start to respect ourselves and just say, hey, all money ain't good money. And how I make my money is going to have to be consistent with the other things that matter more than money. I can't sell my mama up the river just so I can make an extra dollar, nor can I celebrate that when another man does the same thing. That is not appropriate behavior. That is highly inappropriate. So in fact, do you know yesterday, me and my wife were we were in bed watching this PBS special about white people who for many generations have made money building bridges. There was one guy who said he was a third generation bridge builder, and his family's made millions of dollars building not just bridges, but like covered bridges and stuff. Like you don't see that many bridges with the cover on, like little, like bridges of Madison County, that type of bridge, like the little, not the big ones. But his family for generations have been making all this money building bridges. I said, how many black people do you know who are even exposed to something like that? All the other millions of ways there are to make money. And I think the challenge too is that it's not as lit as like being a rapper. You're not going to be rich and famous from doing this per se. You might be rich, but you won't be famous. But there's a lot of different ways to make money, and this is another reason why we have to educate our own, because I know a lot of black people who make money in ways that have nothing to do with entertaining white folks, and they're doing quite well. And these are the people that your children need to see more often. They don't need to see another rapper. They already seen that. They don't need they don't need to see more people that are going to tell them to go kill somebody so they can go get raped in prison at the age of 18. Why the hell do you want that for your kids? Why do you even allow that? Seriously, and so to some extent, so with the Little Wayne thing, and again, I felt kind of mixed about it. I didn't want um to hurt anybody. I didn't. That's not my preference. And in fact, there was another artist I did not know about at the time named Tyler the Creator, who was very angry with me. He's still angry with me. Every now and then he'll say he'll do something at the end. He did a song with Kanye West, and at the end he just randomly blurts out, "Dr. Boyce Watkins is a bitch," because he does that. That's his creativity. He just does these weird things in the songs. He's good at it. And he was mad at me because apparently that commercial, the racist commercial I told you about, the one that kind of opened the door for all this, was a commercial that he did that commercial, and apparently that might have been his big break or something. I have no idea. I was like, dude, I don't even know you, man. I wasn't, you were collateral damage. I was talking about the Little Wayne thing. I wasn't thinking about who made this commercial. I said, but if you had had somebody mentoring you, they would have told you something that I would have told you, something that your daddy would have told you. I wish your daddy had been around, because your daddy would have told you, if he was smart, he would have said, son, these white folks don't give a damn about you. They don't care about you. Because what Mountain Dew did when they saw the controversy, when they felt the heat coming, you know what they did? They were like, we're gonna fire all these iggers. We're getting rid of all these black dudes. We're getting rid of Lil Wayne. We're gonna push it. We're not sponsoring T.I. We're gonna get rid of Tyler the Creator because we're trying to protect our brand. That's what they did. And I said, if I was talking to you and I'd be happy, I offered, I was like, dude, just call me and I'll tell you what I think. I don't hate you. I really don't. But this is what happens. Colonialism creates civil wars amongst black people who should be friends. Colonialism creates civil wars. The colonizers create civil wars between black people who should be allies, but they end up fighting. You see it right now with this Democrat Republican BS. It's nonsense. That's why I told DL, when DL Hughley called me and cussed me out and was making all these crazy threats over this whole Democrat, I was like, dude, I'm not going to argue with you over Democrat Republicans. I'm just not. I'll argue with you over my children. I'll argue with you about how we can do more for the community. I'm not going to argue with you about whether you think Kamala is better than Trump. I don't give a damn. They ain't neither one of these people going to solve the important problems in our community. You're wasting energy right now. This is not interesting to me. I want to be a conscious man. A consciousness, and we've talked about this every day. We do economic consciousness. Consciousness is leveling up. Like I'm not gonna argue with the puppet. I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna talk to the puppet master. I don't want to talk to the child. I want to talk to your daddy. Bring your daddy outside. Me and your daddy need to talk because you just repeating what you heard your daddy say. So I need to go to the source. So same thing is true with anything that's dividing us. This Democrat Republican stuff, that is not the source of what you're going to of either the problem, nor is it the source of the solution. They are not going to solve a single damn problem in the black community that's going to put us in a better situation. It's not going to happen. So ultimately, I'll just say that it was kind of a mixed bag. I don't regret it. I felt bad about like Tyler. I said, look, man, I feel sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I don't, but I can't take it back because you're a pawn. You're a pawn in a bigger battle in terms of white supremacy and colonialism and what they're trying to do to our people. They're doing things to our people that they wouldn't do to their own. There is no sacred person in the Jewish community that they would ever allow to be disrespected on a rap album. Give me a yes if you agree with that. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. They would not let you disrespect Anne Frank in a hip hop record. I'm not even going. I could make up a verse right now that would be disrespectful to Anne Frank, but I don't even. I'm not even going to do that because I know how inappropriate that is. But they'll come in there and they'll piss all over Emmett Till's legacy and act like it's okay. Well, the song was lit and the beat was dope, man. Shut up, shut up. It's crazy to me. It makes no sense. So what I want to do actually, in terms of sort of closing this up, I'm gonna tell you the real reason I even brought up this conversation. I promise you, the Lil Wayne story was not even one I was thinking to share today. I just y'all know me. I stream of consciousness. I go on tangents, but I always want to bring it back before we're done. So with Kendrick Lamar performing in New Orleans, and so the controversy is with Lil Wayne and all of those stuff. Here's my opinion, my thoughts on this. Um, Again, consciousness. Kendrick Lamar performing at the Super Bowl doesn't really mean a whole lot in the whole scheme of things. What I look at is not so much who's going to perform. I'm thinking about the NFL itself. The NFL itself is basically a big plantation. LeBron James even said that, and I agree with him 100%. The NFL it's a damn plantation. 70% of the athletes are black. They're running out there. Now they're making money. A lot of them are. Not all of them now. Not all of them. Their careers are very short. So be careful about sending your son to the NFL because NFL doesn't stand for National Football League. It stands for not for long because you dedicate your whole life to get a job that's going to last about 2.3 years. And when you're young, when you're 19, you're not thinking past the age of 25 because your brain isn't even fully developed. And so what is unfortunately occurring in football is a lot of these young men, very talented athletes with undeveloped brains, are having those undeveloped brains brain damaged through massive hits to the head, CTE, and all that. The studies show all this. That it's not even debatable at this point. And so while we're out on the fields, getting jacked up, busting our heads open, fighting for, these little spots on these teams so we can all go serve Jerry Jones, you got the guys in the owner's box who are sitting back and saying, wow, look at that Negro. That Negro show can jump. That Negro show is fast. That Negro is so talented. And what's happened is if you look at the ownership structure of the NFL, I don't think to this point, tell me if I'm wrong, but there is not one black majority owner of an NFL team. Not one. Not one. Now we have minority ownership. I think Melody Hobson, through her white husband, she was able to get a little bit of ownership. And I think Magic and some other people, some celebrities own pieces, right? They got some crumbs. They got some tiny little spots. I think Serena and Venus own a little piece of a team, something like that. So we got minority owners, I guess because they're minorities, but but when it comes to the majority ownership, that is something that they protect and that they don't allow black people to have access to. Basically, what you are is you're not here to be the owner. You are the entertainment. You are the entertainment. Kendrick Lamar is the entertainment. Am I lying? The player on the field running the 40-yard dash in 4.3 seconds. Oh, he's the entertainment. The guy getting his head busted open, getting brain damage for life. Oh, he's the entertainment. We like to watch Negroes crack their heads open for fun. Now they do make some money, so I don't want to neglect that part. And some of them make a lot of money. The ones who do, God bless them. But overall, in terms of it, whether or not it's a win for the black community, the NFL is not a win for black people. It is not a win. Jay-Z got a little job where he gets to be the entertainment director or something. And so he's picking rappers to go perform at the Super Bowl, which is fine. That's his job. But honestly, I kind of wonder at what point are we going to become conscious enough to stop celebrating Negroes with fancy jobs? Like I really, when you have a job, what you are, here's what I want you to understand. The institution that you work for, when you have a job where you are managing some part of that institution, you're basically kind of what I would refer to as an economic babysitter. You didn't actually have any kids yourself. You're just watching other people's kids. And so you're doing a lot of the work, but then when mama comes home, daddy comes home, they tell you to go home and they say, these are my children. You can't, all the work you're putting into raising other people's kids, that's not the same as having children of your own. They may feel like they're your children. You may really think, like, gosh, I spend so much time with little Billy. I spend more time with Billy than his daddy does, but you're not Billy's daddy. That's not what you are. You're the babysitter. So to some extent, black people, just like back in slavery, we did this in slavery. We've always been the babysitter of other people's assets. We are the ultimate economic babysitters. We get trained for that, just like the lady in Coming to America, where they trained her and to simply serve the king. It's like, well, he's like, so what do you like? Whatever you like. Well, so what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, right? So we are trained from birth to pretty much serve as economic babysitters for entities that are owned and controlled by white people. Ownership is almost like a cuss word. You're not even introduced to the concept of ownership because ownership is seen as like the impossible dream that you shouldn't even consider, you shouldn't even pursue. The easiest thing for you to do as a black person is to go get you a good job and go babysit a white man's business. That's what you're pretty much trained to do. So when I look at the NFL, I find it utterly fascinating that we are contributing 70% of the talent and get 0% of the ownership. Am I tripping? Or is there a point here? Or is this something to kind of think about? What do y'all think? I mean, do you think this is something to think about? Or am I just being a troublemaker again? Because I told you, Tyler the Creator was cussing me out like crazy. And he got so many more Twitter followers than me. I'm sure there's like millions of little white kids who hate my guts and don't even know who I am because Tyler was tweeting about me for a while. So am I just being a hater? Am I just being a player haterologist? Or is this something worth thinking about? And I bring this up because I really want you to understand when I look at Kendrick Lamar and I look at the NFL and I look at Jay-Z and I look at all the players and I look at all of us getting the brain damage and I look at the Jerry Joneses sitting in the owner's box and saying we're not going to let Negroes own any major percentage of a league. You know what I think about? Again, because I try to be conscious about it. I think, oh, this is integration. This is the manifestation of integration. This is and again, you've been trained to love this dream. They've been prepping you just like they were raised a geisha girl in Japan, a geisha girl, kind of like a glorified hooker, basically. They train them when they're little to really dream and be excited about serving men. So you are trained to be a little economic hooker. That's what we're trained to. We let our kids get trained to be little economic hoes, where we sit here and we say, "Oh my God, he gave me a great job, and look at how important I am, and look at this big responsibility I have." When really the reality is that if a resource comes out of your community's supposed to own and control some portion of that resource. Like if you're an African country and you've got $1 trillion worth of diamonds in your soil, you're not supposed to have anybody that's in poverty. There's something wrong with if you go again, because this is colonialism. They do this all around the world. They don't just do this to you. They do this in India. They done did this in Africa, all over the place. How the hell? I went to Nigeria and I was like, how in the hell do y'all got hundreds of billions of dollars in oil in the ground and you ain't got nothing but poor people everywhere? You got a couple of rich Negroes running around bragging about how well off they are, but you got millions of people in poverty. You should be ashamed of this. This is embarrassing. I'm part Nigerian. This hurts my feelings. Like, what the hell happened? Who did this to you? But remember, go back to my basic point. Remember, I was telling you how money is a drug. Money is like the devil. Money will have you doing stuff and getting used to things that are clearly dysfunctional and clearly problematic. If I go to Dubai and Saudi Arabia, I don't see the same poverty I see in Nigeria. They doing good. They driving supercars. They're sitting right in the middle of the damn desert with all the money in the freaking world, and there's money for everybody. How come I don't see that in a Nigeria? And also when you come back to the African American community, How do I see a community that's got trillions of dollars in resources, trillions of dollars in talent, trillions of dollars that we've given to this country, but we got so many people in economic despair? That don't make no damn sense. That means you have a resource allocation issue. It means you have an issue when it comes to how your children are setting their goals. You signed a bad contract. Integration itself is not a bad thing. I think everybody should live together with everyone else. Everyone should trade with everyone else. But you signed a terrible contract. You made a deal where they said we're going to integrate you, but we'll never let you. You ain't gonna own nothing up in here. You don't own this place. You can move into the house, but you got to sleep in the basement. You can come in, but we're going to integrate you the same way we might integrate the maid into the house in the babysitter. Like you're the maid and the babysitter, but this ain't really your house. As long as we're clear on that, but we can do this integration thing as long as you don't own nothing, because we have enough vision to know the importance of ownership and protecting the things that we control. So not only are we not going to share ownership with you as in the NFL, but we're not even going to facilitate or allow you to even create a culture that even values ownership. When your kids go to school, first thing they do in many of these schools, did y'all see this in Baltimore? They got 23 schools where not one single child can read or do math at grade level. So if they keep you stupid and ignorant, then you ain't never gonna really own nothing. You can't. How are you gonna succeed in a complex society when you don't even have the basic skills? So we're gonna take your biggest resource, your children, put them in a building, teach them absolutely nothing, and then put them in a competitive world as adults with no skills to survive whatsoever. We're going to make sure we win the competition by breaking your legs before the game. That's what we're going to do. We're going to break their legs before the game begins so that when my white baby shows up, my Indian baby shows up trying to be a rocket scientist, trying to run $1 billion corporation, your son's going to be off getting high with his homeboys, listening to somebody's hip hop music, trying to be a rapper, trying to be a basketball player. He's not even going to be in the stadium. Do you understand? Like this is a problem that you should deeply offend you, and it should help you understand why I'm so diligent about the idea that we got to educate our own kids. Because I can guarantee you there ain't no kid that's listening to me every day gonna be thinking like that. Not one. Some of y'all bring in your kids. Good, keep bringing them. I want to talk to them because there's no child that's gonna be in a space like this who's not gonna go out here with the preparation and the confidence and the desire to own and control assets and resources long term. I just want to scale it up. That's the goal, the long term goal. If you ever want to know what is Boyce's goal, why is he doing this stuff? Because we're gonna scale this up. We're already reaching millions of people. I want to reach billions. I really want this to be the standard, the protocol. So I'm going to do my best to make that happen, because you should sort of look at situations like that where you're making the majority of the contribution, and also just finish the damn sentence. Finish the damn sentence. Finish the sentence. I'm making the majority contribution, therefore I expect to have the majority of ownership. That's it. It's just finish the sentence. Take it all the way to the rack. You got to go in and dunk the ball. You can't pull up and shoot a jumper when you got a clear lane to the basket. Finish the sentence. Finish the sentence means that we also, in addition to learning how to be great employees, in addition to learning how to be great athletes, in addition to learning how to be great entertainers, we must be great owners. We must be also willing to lose a couple of friends to demand what we want. You cannot compete in any game, whether it's football, basketball, or the game of life. You cannot be a true competitor and still expect everybody to be your friend at the end of the day. So this whole need for validation from other people, or needing other people to like us, or being afraid of being mislabeled as the dangerous black man or dangerous black woman, we got to let all that go. Of course you don't like me, because I'm here to take some of what you got. Of course you're mad at me because I'm not I don't accept the idea that I'm inferior to you. Of course you're upset because we're going to compete a little bit, because I want to eat at the big kids table. I want to sit at the head of the table like you. So we're going to fight for that chair, and that's okay. That's all right. What are you fighting for? That's what I would say with black people. What are we fighting for? Or are we just settling into the position that society wants us to have? Because right now, if you look at the NFL as a microcosm of America, they love black people. They don't hate black people in the NFL. They're like, we love our Negroes as long as they know their place. We love black people as long as you know that you're not supposed to be an owner. If you try to become an owner, then you become a troublemaker. We're gonna get mad at you. But as long as you know that maybe you can be a coach, That's progress in their minds, right? You can definitely be an athlete because we love black athletes, and there's nothing like them. And then at the Super Bowl, we'll let you perform. We'll let you be the entertainment. But one thing I want you to understand is that it's always been like that. It's been like that since slavery. Black people have been the entertainment since if you go back to 1644 and we were the entertainment. So ain't a damn thing changed in that category. I want to just ask, what is it about anything that you are a part of in your life right now that you can leave down to your children? What is it? Because Jerry Jones, when he dies, his sons and I guess he's got a daughter or something too. I'm not sure. His children are going to own the Dallas Cowboys. When the guy at the Lakers died, I think it was Buss. Was it Dr. Buss? Is that his name? When he died, his children, they now own the Lakers. So when you die, what are your children going to own? So I encourage you to start small. Start with shares of stock. Just that's easy to do. That doesn't mean you have to go buy an NFL team. Just go buy some shares of stock. Well, that's an asset you can pass to your children. What can you not pass to your children? Well, you certainly can't pass a damn job to your kids. That job. So if you're putting all your energy into the job and putting no energy into owning anything, then I think that's the wrong allocation of your energy. Put your energy into things that are going to have a lasting legacy. That's how you win the game of economics and the game of economic power. That's it. I'm done talking. I hope everybody has a great day. A reminder again, later on today at noon Eastern, we're going to do Stock Market Tuesdays where you can come in and ask me questions about the stock market. I'll share some stocks that I like, stuff like that, that'll help you make money. Here's the link if you'd like to join the stock market investing class. 76% off. I think the regular price is $89 a month. You can join for 76% off, which is about $22 a month or something like that. So feel free to grab that link. And also, I'll text it out to you. It's going to arrive in your phones at about, what is this? This is 10:47, 11 a.m. Eastern. You will get a link as well. So make sure you get on the text list. If you want to be on the text list and also get an invitation to this class, just text the word morning, MORNING, to 87948. The reason it's morning is because this is called Money in the Morning. And this is where we do the art of economic elevation, where we become financially conscious. I want you to rise up, see the economics so you can understand how to make your next move and make your next move your best move. All right. So one more time, text the word morning to the number 87948. Also, we got some copies of Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth. I went to the Andersons. We ordered a few hundred copies for the Black Wealth Mastery Store. And the reason I wanted to get copies of that book is because this is the best book on reparations that's out there, or one of the best anyway. And it'll really open your eyes in terms of understanding the specifics of exactly why we're owed reparations and how the wealth was taken and how much was taken. So that book will be available soon. It's not in the store yet, but it'll be there probably in the next week or so. And if you want to go take a look at the Black Wealth Mastery Store, just go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. And also, again, one more time for the text list, if you want to get on the text list for this class, text the word morning, MORNING, to 87948. And also Thursday, I got brother Nuri Muhammad coming in. He's a great black man, and I cannot wait to talk to him because he'll knock your socks off. He's a bad boy, one of the greatest leaders in this country, and I just have so much respect for him. So he'll be here Thursday. So anyway, have a good day, everybody. God bless you, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye bye. Or maybe this afternoon if you want to come by and talk about.